So what is Ninja Gaiden 4? Well, this is basically an evolution of the older games, a step up, and much faster than the older games. Now you might remember the older games being a fixed camera perspective and the combat being a little bit more slower. Well, this is the polar opposite. It's go go go, goddamn Sonic on crack, and it's very fast, okay? I mean, this guy, he doesn't waste time in the morning.
I don't know why, but today seems like it's gonna be a great day. La la la, blah 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 blah. I should spend more time with my kid.
I don't know what bath salts your character is sniffing, but he sure does have a lot of pep in his step. It does remind me of the kind of PS2 to 360 era of gaming, where basically it doesn't apologize for its over-the-top kind of sense of style. It's super gory. I mean, there's so much damage going on throughout this game. So if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, maybe don't play video games. But yeah, it is very gory, and it's nice to have a game like that kind of calls back to a simpler time, if you will, of character action. And honestly, we just don't get many great character action games anymore with, you know, combo systems and over-the-top combat. So I know that is kind of a niche genre, but this game does fulfill that. But also, if you're just a fan of hack and slash games in general, and you like games like, you know, Prototype and just that older style of gaming, I think you're definitely gonna like this. Now, I managed to go hands-on with Ninja Gaiden 4 with exclusive gameplay at a press event in Tokyo. Here's a small snippet. Now, I've played plenty of this game now to give you a quality early review of this, and today I'm just going to be discussing what I think the Ninja Gaiden 4 reviews are shaping up to be, give you an overview before I drop my full review. I always do this with games that I truly care about, or games that I got plenty of time with. And if you're new here, please do consider subscribing. That does mean absolutely everything to me. I put a lot of hard work into this channel, and I honestly I'm so passionate about building this community and creating a channel full of intellectual gamers, which is quite a rare thing nowadays. So subscribe, become a wise one today if you love gaming analysis, philosophical content, and a deeper look at games.
Let's go already!
So first of all, let's get straight into some of the overview of the combat. Now, I won't tell you everything because there's a lot I want to talk about in the full review, like my boss gameplay and what I think of the bosses and stuff like that. Well, first of all, you've got to understand that this game is very frantic and over the top. You know, like I said, there's a lot of stuff happening constantly. There's not really a moment's rest. There's you know, some platforming elements to this game as well, which is very fast as well. And it even has segments like where you jump on grind rails, which reminds me of some classic games like Ratchet and Clank. Just very old school. You know, very simple in its design, very linear. It's not trying to be an open world Ninja Gaiden game or anything like that. It's sticking to what works and just focusing on creating a fun combat system with a lot of emphasis on, you know, getting high scores, building up your combos, and then finally, you know, fighting a boss and getting access to new weapons. The animations in this game are absolutely incredible, so fluid, and each weapon feels completely different. It has a lot of style to it. It's one of those games where if you are a fan of stylistic combat, then, you know, you're gonna love this, like I said. But for people who want maybe more a traditional story, this doesn't really have that. It's quite bare bones in that regard, because it is mostly character action. And no, it's not a Souls-like, even though it does have some elements of something like Elden Ring, especially the bosses, where, you know, there's like parries, perfect dodges, stuff like that you do need to be aware of. That's where the difficulty comes in. But when you're fighting kind of the, you know, generic enemies, that's all very much just focused character action. So basically, as you're playing through this, you can switch between 4 different weapon types on the fly, and this really makes it feel, you know, very dynamic combat-wise. So you don't get boxed into, you know, just one weapon. And of course, you can, you know, customize your playstyle and choose what you want to focus on. But I do like that there is flexibility there, and like I said, each weapon feels completely different. They all have their own finishes and stuff like that. Very brutal stuff.
Are you serious?
So basically, you need to understand that this isn't created by the original people who made the previous Ninja Gaiden games. That's why it does feel a little bit more different. It's gone for a little bit more of that anime aesthetic, I would say. A little bit more over the top instead of kind of more traditional ninja stuff that we would get in the previous games. The story is, of course, still bombastic and just, batshit insane, basically. And some people might think it's a little bit too fast at times. But honestly, that's what keeps each level engaging, and it doesn't really get boring. I would say that the level design itself was kind of lackluster because it's a lot of kind of generic looking locations, and there's not much going on in the actual level design itself. Like I said, mostly corridors with some, light platforming just to break up combat and grind rails and all that kind of stuff, which is fun, don't get me wrong. But I just think they could have done a little bit more, with the actual level design itself. And integrate the platforming better with the combat. So if you're like me and you love single player games, but sometimes you feel like the developers themselves are limiting the experience, well, thanks to today's sponsor, Xmod, you can customize your games to make them truly something special by unlocking trainers and mods for thousands of games with Xmod. All you need to do with Xmod is simply go down to the link below and download it, and then you can just search for any game that you're interested in. And to keep up to date with when the trainers and mods come out for Ninja Gaiden 4, simply just click notify me when it gets launched. And if you're already a fan of the Ninja Gaiden games, you can go to the older games and already tweak the experience thanks to trainers there, like customizing the damage numbers and all that good stuff. Xmod is a platform that unlocks thousands of free cheats, mods, and trainers for your favorite single-player PC games. Now, I've always felt that games are like a canvas, and mods are the paintbrush. They basically allow you to create your own unique experience, and that's why I love modding so much. Now, the main features of Xmod is it supports over 5,000 PC games, from massive AAA games to smaller indie titles. It works well with popular games like The Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk 2077, or Skyrim or Fallout, you name it, it has you covered. With regular updates, it stays compatible with brand new games releasing day one. Now, I have some great news for you, my wise ones, because Dying Light the Beast is now available on Xmod. So thanks to Xmod, you can now customize Dying Light the Beast to make it the ultimate zombie survival game. So you can add trainers from editing the money stats, infinite health, infinite stamina, but the one I love using the most is entering beast mode whenever I feel like it to maximize the carnage. But perhaps you want to go deeper, so simply switching over to the mod tools, you can easily one-click download all of these amazing mods that just make the game so much better, from adding better FPS, easy lockpicking. Nothing is off limits, so if you want to change the look and style of the game, you can do that with this mod, natural lighting, visuals, increased FOV. You can, basically remove features or unlock the game to its full potential. So what are you waiting for? Get modding today by using Xmod. Link below in the description. Make sure you go check it out and enjoy the games at their full potential with Xmod.
Okie dokie.
So here we are looking at the Steam page of Ninja Gaiden 4, and I just want to highlight the price of this game. It's, going for a full price release, and I do think that is kind of maybe asking a little bit much. And I understand that, this is all quality stuff. Like I said, I am a fan of this game, but a lot of people expect now modern day gaming to, be very big, to offer, something new, or to offer a lot of, just gameplay hours. And this game you can easily, get through quite quickly because they are all very, linear levels. And the gameplay itself does feel very old school. And I actually like that. I think that's why it's a fun game. And it's one of the most polished combat systems in a character action game. But you have to remember that character action games usually are a little bit more stripped back. So I just wanted to highlight the price because some people might not be comfortable with that amount of money. So now let's finally talk about the Ninja Gaiden 4 reviews and, You can probably guess what my Ninja Gaiden 4 review is going to be. You know, I am recommending it, but I'm going to go into more of the positives and negatives when I drop my review very shortly. But I do think that Ninja Gaiden 4 reviews are going to be mixed, because it does appeal to people who are, you know, looking for this type of experience, and there's not many games that offer this type of experience. But in its level design and with its kind of old school gameplay, a lot of people might not be happy with it. Also, for hardcore fans, I think there's a lot to love here, but some might kind of miss the older style of gameplay of Ninja Gaiden. This has gone kind of for more a traditional character action game. Like I said, similar to Bayonetta. It doesn't feel like it's standing out by itself anymore. It feels like it's kind of bridged the gap more. So that is something to be aware of. So I do think it's going to get kind of like a mixed response, maybe around a 70 to 80. So a good score on Metacritic. But I just don't think it's going to be, you know, one that gets remembered, which is kind of sad, because with a little bit more, you know, experimentation, I think this could have been something very special. So Ninja Gaiden 4 is shaping up to be an interesting game, I think. It's almost reached peak perfection. That's the problem. It's close to being a great masterpiece of a game, but it does feel a little bit limited in its innovation. That's the thing that's going to hold it back, and I think that's going to be reflected in the Ninja Gaiden 4 reviews. But luckily there's no controversy or drama or anything like that surrounding this game, which is very nice and refreshing to say. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with the Ninja Gaiden 4 reviews, and please do keep an eye out for my Ninja Gaiden 4 review. But I have played a lot of this, and I do think it's a good time. So thank you so much for watching, my wise ones. I just wanted to quickly talk about this game today. That classic nostalgic gaming that we used to get, where it used to be just purely about fun. And many games today don't really care too much about giving the players fun anymore, more so about, you know, trying to be something that they're not. So it's nice just to have a simplistic game that's focusing on being a game now and then. So I'll be seeing you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.